Hi everybody. It's so good to see you. It's Miss Carol. And I had such a fun time last week telling you a story that I decided I would do it again this week for Easter. The story we're going to read is called Benjamin's Box. It's written by Melody Carlson, and the illustrations, the pictures, are drawn by Jack Stockman. And there's one thing about this book. This book didn't come from the Bible. It doesn't have just a Bible story. There's parts of this story about a little boy named Benjamin and his friend Eli and his mom and dad. And that part of the story is just something that Miss Carlson sort of made up. It could have happened, but we don't know that it did. But there's parts of this book that tell about Jesus and what happened to him. And that part of the book comes out of the Bible, so we know that that part of the story is true. But it's a fun story, and while we read it, we're also going to be opening some Easter eggs, and you'll have to help me pick which one. Okay, so Benjamin's Box by Melody Carlson. One bright spring morning, Benjamin sat outside in the sunshine. In his hands was a wooden box. "What have you got there?" said his friend Eli. "Oh, that's my treasure box," said Benjamin. "My grandfather gave it to me just before he died last year. He said to keep things in it that were very, very special." Eli opened it and looked inside. "It's empty," he said. "Well, I don't have any treasures yet," said Benjamin, "but I'm going to watch for them." Eli said, "Benjamin, I know where something special is today. There's supposed to be a special king coming to town. Would you like to go see?" "Yeah," said Benjamin. So off they went. And the crowds were already lining the street by the time Benjamin and Eli got there. Some people cut palm branches from the trees. Others laid their coats on the street like a carpet. "Wow," said Benjamin. "He must be a king." The two boys squeezed through just as a donkey entered the gate. "That's him," Benjamin pointed to the man on the donkey. "I've seen him before. That's Jesus." "Hosanna! Hosanna!" cheered the crowd as they waved their palm branches in the air. "Why is a king coming in town on a donkey?" said Benjamin. An old man said, "It means he comes in peace. Jesus has come to set us free. Hail, King Jesus!" As Benjamin saw the donkey walk by, he saw a little piece of its fur fall to the ground. He picked it up and he said, "This is something for my treasure box." And he tucked it in his pocket. So we are going to open some things to put in our treasure box. And the first egg that we're opening is the dark blue egg. Can you find the dark blue egg? There it is. Let's see what's inside. It's a donkey, to remind us of that part of the story where Jesus rode into town on a donkey. It reminds me of the story we had last week. So I'm going to put the donkey in my treasure box. The next few days were busy, but one day Benjamin's aunt asked him to help her get ready for some guests coming to use their room upstairs. They were coming for Passover dinner, so Benjamin got right to work carrying the water jugs. "Did you hear who the guest of honor is?" a servant girl asked. "It's Jesus." Oh my! Benjamin's eyes opened wide. Imagine, he gets to serve at such an important dinner. He must work hard. That night, Jesus and his friends came and had a special dinner. Then Jesus had bread and wine, and he gave it to his friends and said, "This is my body. This is my blood." Benjamin didn't exactly understand it all, but he knew it was special. After Jesus and his friends left, Benjamin was cleaning up and found a small piece of glass that had broken off one of the cups. "This," as he picked it up, he said, "is for my treasure box." So let's see what is in the lilac egg. Lilac is sort of a pale purple. So not this one, this one. What's inside? What do you think? It is a little tiny cup that looks like the cup that Pastor uses when we have communion at church and we get the body and blood, and Pastor gives us a blessing, just like Jesus did for his friends. So I'm putting it in our treasure box. After the dinner, Jesus and his friends went to a garden. They were going to pray, and Benjamin wanted to pray too. He followed along, and they finally stopped at the garden. He couldn't hear exactly what Jesus was saying, but he knew he was praying. He was saying, "Father, your will be done." He was talking to God, his Father. Let's see what is in the orange egg. Can you point to the orange one? Here it is. What is inside the orange egg? It's hands folded in prayer. Like you do your hands like this when you pray. It's to remind us of the part of the story where Jesus prayed in the garden. So I'm going to put it in my treasure box. As Benjamin was sitting there praying, he heard some people yelling really loud. He leaped up just in time to see big soldiers with swords and spears and torches coming, and they started taking Jesus away. "Stop!" Benjamin cried. "You can't take him. He hasn't done anything wrong." "Shh, boy," said one of the soldiers. He heard the soldiers saying they were taking Jesus away for questioning. Benjamin followed close behind. If only he could make them let Jesus go. Benjamin looked into Jesus' eyes as the Roman soldiers threw an old shabby robe on Jesus' back. "You say you're a king?" Then they put a crown of thorns on his head. "Here's your crown, king." He expected Jesus to look at them with hate, but he only saw love in Jesus' eyes. The soldiers whipped him with belts, and they struck him with sticks and spat on him. Oh, Benjamin could hardly stand to watch. He looked down, and as he saw on the ground one of the thorns that had broken off of Jesus' crown. And he said, "This is going to be for my treasure box." And we are going to open the cream color egg, sort of a light yellow. So not this one, that's a dark yellow. This one, yeah, that's it. Let's see. And here is a little tiny metal crown that's made to look like the crown that was on Jesus's head with stickers. It will remind us of that part of the story. So we'll put it in our treasure box. Benjamin ran home. They sadly shook their heads, and Benjamin placed the thorn in his treasure box. Later that day, Eli came by. "Benjamin, have you heard? Jesus is going to be crucified, put on a cross." "No," cried Benjamin. "He hasn't done anything wrong. He hasn't done anything to deserve that." Benjamin was so sad. "I must go," he said. "Maybe I can help. I can pray for him." As Benjamin climbed up the steep hill, he saw 3 crosses at the top, and Jesus was nailed to the middle one. He looked down and he found one of the nails the soldiers had dropped on the ground. He picked it up sadly and said, "This is going in my treasure box." Yes. He was so sad. It makes us sad, that part of the story too. And now we are going to open the yellow egg. Point to it. Which one's the yellow egg? Yep, that's it. Good. See what's in. What do you think is in here? It's a cross to remind us of this part of the story, that Jesus died on the cross for us. And it's made out of nails like Benjamin found and put in his treasure box. Maybe yours is a nail, and we can put it in our treasure box to remind us of this sad part of the story. Must have hurt. While Benjamin was standing there, the sky turned dark, even though it was the middle of the day. He felt the earth shake. There was an earthquake. And he heard Jesus cry out, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." Jesus breathed his last breath, and Benjamin was stunned. Jesus was dead. People soon started to take Jesus' body off the cross. But first, one of the soldiers said, "No, let's make sure he's dead." And he took his spear and stuck it in Jesus' side to make sure that he was dead. Then people took Jesus off the cross, and Benjamin went home. As he walked, he saw a sharp stick laying on the ground. It reminded him of the spear they used to stab Jesus' side. "I'm putting this in my treasure box," he said. And our next egg is the purple egg. That one's easy to find. What do you think? It's the spear or sharp stick like they used to stab Jesus. So we'll put that in our treasure box. "Benjamin," said Eli the next morning, "come, listen to the news." "What?" said Benjamin. He was still so sad. They put guards around Jesus' tomb, 2 big soldiers with swords. They don't want anybody to steal Jesus' body. Benjamin went to see, and sure enough, the big stone was still in front of the opening. People had wrapped Jesus' body in cloth and laid it in a cave, and then rolled a big stone in front of it so no animals would get his body. As he walked away, he said, Jesus is dead, and I don't have my friend anymore. As he walked away, he saw something hanging on a bush, and as he looked at it, it was a piece of the white cloth that the friends had used to wrap Jesus' body. He picked it up and said, I can put this in my treasure box. And our egg is the cream color egg. And inside is the white cloth to put in our treasure box, just like Benjamin put the cloth in his treasure box. Early the next morning, Benjamin went to the market for his mother. He didn't really feel like going today. It was so sad. While he was getting the things for his mother, he heard somebody scream. It's a miracle! Shrieked a girl. Benjamin stopped shopping and looked. What? He said. Jesus has risen from the dead, the girl said. He's not there. The stone has been moved away and he's gone. Benjamin ran to see, and sure enough, there he saw the stone has rolled away. When Benjamin got to the tomb, he knelt down to look inside the empty tomb. And as he did, his knee was pushed onto a small, sharp piece of rock that had fallen when the stone rolled away. A piece had fallen off. So Benjamin took that piece of rock and said, I'm so excited, I have to go home and tell Mom and Dad, and I'm putting this stone in my treasure box. So our egg is the turquoise kind of egg. Listen. What do you think's inside? Did you guess? The stone for our treasure box, just like Benjamin put in his. The stone to remind us that the stone was rolled away and the tomb was empty. Later, people told Benjamin they had seen Jesus. They had talked to him. They had been with him. They had touched him. And he knew Jesus had risen. During the next few days, Benjamin and Eli saw that Jesus had done things just as he said he would. It began right here in Jerusalem. And since he saw all these things, now we have to go tell other people what happened, tell other people the story. So that's what Eli did. He told all his friends about the things inside his treasure box. Inside this box, he said, is the story of a great treasure. One by one, Benjamin took each item out and explained how he got it and what it meant. And so you see, he said, as he closed the box, the treasure is really Jesus. The treasure is what Jesus did for us. He died on the cross, And then he was stronger than death and rose again. The tomb was empty, and we can be God's friends forever. So now we have our last egg to open. Which color shall it be that we open? Yes, let's open the green. And inside the green egg is nothing. It's empty. What was empty in the story? The grave, the tomb, the cave was empty, just like this egg. And so we know Jesus was victorious. He won over death and the devil. And we can also, because he died for us. So, just like Benjamin used his box to tell other people the story, you can use your knowledge of this story and you can tell other people about Jesus' death too. So now remember, the Benjamin and Eli parts, we don't know for sure that happened. But we know that the parts about Jesus are true because they come from the Bible. I want to wish you all a very happy Easter. He is risen. He is risen indeed. Love you. Happy Easter.